Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's topic, the Ravens could be looking at another receiver. And the receiver that they actually could be looking at, there's reports coming out, is Denver's, nope, not Jerry Jeudy, but Courtland Sutton. Now, for everybody that's watching, y'all might not know who Courtland Sutton is. This is a big dude. Big dude. 6'4", 220, 230 pounds. Can high point balls. Got like a 36-inch vertical so he can get up off his feet on top of the 6'4". And if I'm not mistaken, he ran like a 4.5 40, like a 4.54 40. So he has enough speed to get deep and to make big catches. The problem that he's had is he's been injured. Listen, look, I know look. I'm actually in a really good mood. Today's my wife's birthday. That's why I got the chain and everything on, went and brought her out, you know what I'm saying, for dinner or mid-lunch, and just had a great day. But it's kind of hard for me to evaluate this. Would I love Courtland Sutton to join this team? Duh! I would love for him to join the team. If there's anybody saying, no, we don't want Courtland Sutton, shut up. You know why? Because he's better than every receiver on this team, probably not named Bateman. That's fact. Look, in a perfect world, Sutton and Bateman wouldn't be our only receivers. In a perfect world, they would pick up like a Sutton, a Mike Evans, and have a Bateman. But we know that the Ravens do not value this position. So the problem that's going to arise with Courtland Sutton is that if we get him, that might be the last receiver we get to the wide receiver room. And what I mean by the last receiver, I mean last receiver that comes from the league. That's not coming from the draft or 4th or 5th round pick. You understand where I'm coming from? That's where we're at when it comes to Courtland Sutton. I watched tape with him before Russell Wilson got there. I thought he was great. Look, when Russell Wilson was going over there, right? Everybody said, look, they got weapons. They got Courtland Sutton, who's had almost a 1,200-yard season already, and they got Jerry Jeudy, who has a lot of speed. So that was the evaluation of the Broncos before Russell Wilson got there. So Courtland Sutton is no scrub. He could ball, straight up ball, and I would love to have him on the team. And I think with his frame, his height, his ability, it would match up great next to a Mark Andrews, a Bateman, and having Lamar Jackson giving them the ball. Now, what would it take to get this done? I don't know. For one, I'll say this. The receiver market this offseason has been very, very dry. And what I mean by that is there hasn't been a lot of receivers commanding first-round pick, second-round pick. It's been 3rd, 4th, or 5th-round picks for these receivers. So here's the $1 million question. Would EDC come up off a 4th and a 5th for Sutton? Can you see EDC giving up a 4th-round pick or a 3rd-round pick for Courtland Sutton? Go ahead and ask yourselves that, because if you can, then this is a possibility. If not, then this is just pie in the sky, like usual, when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens. And that's the frustrating part. Because they're the ones that came out and said, we're going to have to redo this room. There might be a couple pieces from before, but for the most part, it will be revamped, retooled, and chock full of talent to compete with the people that are already there. That's their words, not mine. So my thing is, okay, if he does come here, right, I think it'll be gangbusters. 6'4", next to a 6'5", 6'6" Mark Andrews with Bateman on the other side. You got Duve in the slot. You know what I'm saying? You could do work with that receiving squad. Lamar Jackson could do work with that receiving squad. The question is this just another if? Oh, do the Ravens, he might go to the Ravens. There's been a lot of receivers this offseason that already have came out and said they wouldn't mind playing for the Ravens, but the Ravens looked over them and overlooked them in its entirety. And they settled on, y'all new favorite receiver, now Nelson Aguilar. Listen, that pick still pisses me off. You know how much salt I had to put, how much pepper I had to put on my chicken today because that vile taste of a pick that the Ravens did at wide receiver still lingered on my taste buds. Look at my taste buds. Ruined all the dishes. I'm really, really wondering if this could be a possibility. Because look, do y'all really think we're going to get DeAndre Hopkins? Like, be real with yourselves. Do you see the Ravens actually getting DeAndre Hopkins? Do you see the Ravens actually going forward and getting Mike Evans? They didn't even try to get a DJ Chark. Do you know how dangerous this team would be if you had a Courtland Sutton, a DJ Chark, and a Bateman? And on the inside, you had a Mark Andrews? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? Defensive coordinators will be up all night, frustrated, talking about some bad. Because you would have to account for, what would it be? 2 guys that are over 6'4". Bateman runs a 4.3, so then you'd have to contend with a speed guy. Mark Andrews, hitting up that middle seam, taking everything. You know what I mean? Look, I'm hoping. I'm at a point now where nothing they do surprises me because they don't do anything out of the normal. You know what I mean? They don't do anything to make you go. You remember those old gum commercials? Mentos fresher, Mentos freshes, Mentos fresher, the fans on the mind. Mentos. The fresh. They don't give you the Mentos smile. They don't give you happiness or joy. So do I think, you know what I'm saying, that those, DJ Chark. I forgot DJ Chark too. So would those receivers do great? Yes. The problem that we are having is that the Ravens don't go outside of their bubble. And it looks like more now than ever before, they're doubling down on not getting true or really talented free agent receivers. And for as bad as Ozzie Newsome was with getting or drafting wide receivers, the man brought in a lot of receivers through free agency that were dogs. Anquan Bolden, Mike Wallace, Steve Smith, Desmond Mason. The list goes on. Jacoby Jones. And I know people are going to say it's a special teamer, but y'all didn't watch the Texans. I used to really watch the Texans because Andre Johnson was my favorite receiver in the NFL. And I remember him with Kevin Walter and Jacoby Jones, and yeah, he was a big special team, but as a third receiver, he was great because he had enough speed to break the game open. That's all Ozzie. My thing is, I need EDC to get out of his way and go get one of these monsters, one of these dogs, Build the Monstars, for God's sakes. And to make it worse, this is what makes this season so frustrating, this offseason. It's doable. It's probably more doable now than it's ever been before. Because here's the thing. Multiple receivers, because a lot of teams are trying to get under the cap. They need space, right? And a lot of these receivers are up for, more money or on the back end of their contract, so the team's trying to unload them. It's the perfect storm to go build yourself an absolutely loaded tank at wide receiver. The question is, are the Ravens going to do what they have to do to get those pieces? Are they going to do what they have to do? You know what I think? Look, I have a very staunch feeling that there's going to be a lot of trades. If the Ravens are going to make a move, it's going to be it's going to be during draft time. I promise you. If they make any moves, it's going to be during the draft. It's going to be during the draft. It's going to be, we give up this pick, move down. This player has just been traded. That's when they're going to make their moves. That's when their big moves are going to be. If they make any, that's when. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to leave this team in such disarray, because if they don't make moves at that time, then we know there will be no moves to be made moving forward. And that's not a good look for this front office that has already done a piss poor job with surrounding Lamar Jackson with adequate weapons. And for anybody else that argues that and does not believe that they have done a bad job acquiring weapons, I want you to name another quarterback not named Lamar Jackson that could thrive with these receivers. With only Bateman and then the rest, whatever. And remember, Bateman's been hurt the last 2 years. So you only have Bateman for like 5 or 6 games out of the season. Tell me how many quarterbacks would thrive with those receivers. I need to know. Point them out. And if you can't, sit down and be quiet and hope that the Ravens actually go outside of their box. Because if not, I don't see this being a very, very good. Because if they don't upgrade the wide receiver market, that will be the final nail in the coffin. I think that will signal Lamar Jackson's departure from the Ravens. And if that happens, it's going to be a very sad, sad day in the city of Baltimore. And that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Yes, sir. Listen, man, y'all can be anywhere else in the world, but you hear me, you know I appreciate that. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I respond to the comments. I love talking to you guys. Just be respectful to other people's differing opinions, and we have no problems. And if you would like to leave, sorry for the coughs, guys. The stuff down here is crazy in Florida right now. But if you would like to leave a donation to the platform, the Cash App right there is the QR code. In the description, you can also find the Cash App. $, The Wunderkind Show. The last but not least that you'll find in the description also is the new Wunderkind Show's Patreon. Now, the Patreon, we will be doing questions from subscribers. It will give you general support for helping to fund the channel, and you'll be able to access the Team Wunderkind Discord. So that's what it will give you. I think that's well worth it. And we're going to be doing a fantasy football for this upcoming year for patrons. Okay? So I want to let y'all know that that's all available right now in the description and for the Wunderkind Show. So once again, this is the Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yeah!